Well, good evening, everybody. Welcome to a reasonably pleasant evening here in the Scottish Borders. I'm very, very fortunate to have with me one of the brightest pupils I've got, one of the most intelligent and thoughtful. And, well, let's just go to that. Your future studies, you're actually going to be going off to university after the summer, is that right?
Yes, to do law and politics.
Excellent. And question number one, have you ever been to America?
I have, yes, multiple times.
Oh, many times. And are you aware of, or have you maybe even tried Captain Crunch?
I have, yes.
Yep. What do you think of it, by the way?
Actually, it was all right, yeah, very sweet.
Yes, and very crunchy, very abrasive.
Very crunchy, yes, you can see it.
Yes, exactly, yes. I've actually tried it myself, and I know somebody that on the couple of occasions when I've been in the presence of somebody else, he has finished off the packet in next to no time, and he's very, very fond of Captain Crunch. So first of all, yes, obviously we're in lockdown, but I think it's safe to say that you're of sound mind and not under the influence of anything whatsoever.
Yep, sound mind.
And I've not offered any incentives whatsoever or bribed you in any way or offered. Nope, absolutely perfect. And so basically, your thoughts, please, on the scurrilous suggestion that Captain Crunch is British.
It's an insane suggestion.
It is.
I think I've only ever seen Captain Crunch, in America. Only ever had it in America. Yep. Never seen it here. It couldn't be further from British.
That's right. I mean, the thing is that the iconic image of Captain Crunch is this rather elderly naval officer who looks rather like a naval officer, but we'll get into that. And are you familiar with the fact that myself and Eric Jose over on Crunch Island in California have had a long-going debate and argument about this, and it culminated in a vote?
Yes, I'm aware.
Yes. And are you aware of the fact that I won the vote by one vote?
I am, yes.
Yes. And do you know who was responsible for casting that one vote?
I believe that was me.
Yes, correct. Absolutely spot on. It was indeed you. So let's if we've got a couple of minutes, I was wondering if you would care to join me while we take a look at the evidence.
Yes. Yep.
Yes. Okay. So I will just screen share this, and we will go to some photographs. Hello, Jerome. You might notice in the chat there that we have Jerome of the French Wrecking Crew. I don't know if that's come up on your side.
No, I don't think I.
Oh, right. If you click, maybe I don't know that the live chat comes up for you. I think it's just the private chat that comes up. Sorry about that.
Okay.
Yeah. But anyway, welcome, Jerome. Welcome, Cherie. And I see that we have Eric Jose, who is delusional. Yes, we knew that. We knew that, dude. That is what we are about to prove beyond a shadow of doubt that Captain Crunch is American. End of.
Yep.
End of. Okay, so let's have a look then at, as I say, let's have a look at some of the evidence that supports, as I say, the what we're dealing with. Of course, we're not so naive as to believe that there isn't the serial Captain Crunch and there is the advertising character Captain Crunch.
Mm-hmm.
Eric Jose's put no you, which is a response to me accusing Eric Jose of being the haverer, and Eunice saying that no, it's you. So anyway, I am not the haverer. He is the haverer. And as I say, let's have a look at some of the photographic evidence. So first of all, I don't know if you can see that. Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, so Captain Crunch is a product line of corn and oat breakfast cereals introduced in 1963 and manufactured by Quaker Oats Company, a division of PepsiCo, since 2001. Captain Crunch was developed to recall a recipe of brown sugar and butter over rice, requiring innovation of a special baking process, as the cereal was one of the first to use an oil coating for flavor delivery. And that came up for you okay, did it?
Yep. Yeah.
Lovely. Let's have a look at the next picture then. And if you'd like, if you can see that okay, could you read through that for me?
Yes.
Sure.
Pamela Lowe, a flavorist at Arthur D. Little and 1951 graduate of the University of New Hampshire with a microbiology degree, developed the original Cap'n Crunch flavor in 1963, recalling a recipe of brown sugar and butter her grandmother Luella Lowe served over rice at her home dairy in Derry, New Hampshire. Before developing the flavor, the cereal already had a marketing plan, and once having arrived at the flavor coating for Cap'n Crunch, Lowe described it as giving the cereal a quality she called want more-ishness. After her death in 2007, the Boston Globe called Lowe the mother of Cap'n Crunch. At Arthur D. Little, Lowe had worked on the flavors for Health Mounds and Almond.
Yeah. Notice the Boston Globe called her the mother of Captain Crunch. And where was Pamela Lowe? She was from Derry, New Hampshire. Now, Derry, there is a place in Northern Ireland called Derry, and we do have a place called Hampshire. But guess which country Derry, New Hampshire is? Oh, yes, America. Well, would you believe it, dude? Would you believe it? Let's move on to the next slide, shall we? Let's see. I do apologize. Some of these might not be in the particularly correct order, so I'll just quickly read this. As we already know, Cap'n Crunch is a product line of corn and oat breakfast cereals, and the full name of the character is Horatio Cap'n. Horatio, I mean, that's another thing. They refer to it as Captain. That's not a way that a British sailor would address the captain. He wouldn't say Captain. It would be Captain. You know, very, very precise, wouldn't it? It would be very precise. So anyway, his full name is Captain. Cap'n, because he's American. Horatio, okay, alluding to the fact that, you know, Horatio was a very famous sailor, but then so too was Magellan. So the name Horatio Magellan is just honouring two very well-known sailors, isn't it? Crunch. Captains a ship called the Guppy. In fact, give it its full title, the SS Guppy. Now, never in the British fleet do we have an SS. It's always HMS.
Yep.
And was born on, well, Captain Crunch is a product line of introduced in 1963. I think we've been through some of this. So let's move on to the next slide, shall we? Again, this might require a little bit of more reading from you, so I'll let you do the bigger chunks, because everybody's heard me and they're bored senseless listening to me. But when they get somebody else to look at and hear, then that the excitement level goes through the roof. So anyway, thank you very much for. Anyway, I'll shut up and let you carry on.
In 1985, Captain Crunch disappeared from boxes of Captain Crunch cereal, leaving a question mark with an empty silhouette in his place. The "Where's the Captain?" campaign encouraged kids to decipher his whereabouts through clues in the back of the box. In December of 1985, it was revealed Captain had been hanging out in the Milky Way. Quaker repeated the campaign in 2000, which resulted in a temporary new cereal, Mystery Crunch. Cap'n Crunch was created in response to the early 1960s market research that revealed kids under 10 preferred crunchy foods to soggy foods. Attempting to create a cereal that would satisfy Crunch lovers, Quaker created a corn and oat cereal with a pillow shape and butterscotch-tinged sugar coating. The cereal didn't have a name, but it had what the company was looking for: crunch.
Right, a couple of things to bear in mind there. So the Captain went off to Milky Way, another planet, which is at times where Erekose is obviously hanging out. He's obviously not of this world. Notice also it was it was aimed at kids under 10. So, Eric Ozay is a big kid. And so moving on to the next slide. Okie dokie. Now we get a few more interesting facts. I'll let you take it away.
The product line is heralded by a cartoon mascot named Cap'n Crunch. The mascot is depicted as a late 18th century naval captain, an older man with white eyebrows and a white moustache who wears a revolutionary-style naval uniform, a bicorn hat emblazoned with a C, and a gold epauletted blue coat with gold bands on the sleeves. While typically an American naval captain wears 4 bars on his sleeves, the mascot has been variously depicted over the years wearing only 1 bar, Commodore, 2 bars, or 3 bars.
Yes. So, okay. So there's been some research into exactly where Cap'n Crunch has come from. So I do apologize if some of these are not quite in the right order, but we are dealing with, I suppose in fairness, we are dealing with a fictional character, but a character nonetheless that is iconic. He is an American icon. So anyway, I'll shut up, let you carry on.
In 2013, sources included the Wall Street Journal and Washington Times reported that the 3 stripes on the mascot's uniform indicate a rank of commander and not the 4 needed on his uniform to be a captain. In jest, the Wall Street Journal reported that the US Navy had no record of Crunch and the NCIS was investigating him for impersonating a naval officer. Doris Butler provided the original voice of Cap'n Crunch until his death in 1988. Author Philip Wiley wrote a series of short stories, Crunch and Des, beginning in the 1940s, which featured a similarly named Captain Crunch Adams. The Captain Crunch commercials have historically used basic cartoon animation by Jay Ward.
Interesting, isn't it? So we already had an American character from the 1940s, Crunch and Des. Anyway, let's just go on and let you have a look at the next article, and hopefully by the time we've finished, we'll have presented all the evidence to unequivocally prove
the overwhelming evidence.
Exactly. Okay. So name it had what? Yeah, it was looking for Crunch. We just finished at that bit. So anyway.
Okay. To name the cereal, Quaker turned Compton Advertising, a firm that was considered hot at the time, in no small part due to innovative campaigns they'd create for Tide detergent. The company came up with the idea to give the cereal and its mascot the same name, something that would push Crunch, and Cap'n Crunch was born. To put face with the ideas, Quaker hired Jay Ward Production, an animation company most famous for creating the characters Rocky and Bullwinkle. To put a voice to the new Cap'n Crunch character, Jay Ward hires Doris Butler, a voice actor who'd also provided a voice for Yogi Bear and Huckleberry Hound. In 1963, the first Cap'n Crunch commercial aired nationally. The cereal was an instant hit. With 2 years of its introduction, it became the 9th best-selling cereal in America.
And I think it probably does enjoy that reputation to this date. But certainly for somebody of my generation, Doris Butler, a very, very famous voice actor. Yogi Bear. Have you ever seen any Yogi Bear cartoons? Huckleberry Hound. In fact, I think I've managed to save a few others. Oh yes, here we go. Here's a picture of Doris Butler. Charles Dawson Butler was an American voice actor who specialized in voicing animated films and television series. He was born November 1916 in Toledo, Ohio. So he's from the United States. So I get the sense that, if he looks American, if he talks American, if he walks American, if he thinks American, the chances are
he's American.
He's probably American. Anyway, let's just carry on with a little bit more about Doris Butler, this iconic voice character. So voice actor, he worked mostly for the Hanna-Barbera animation production company, where he originated the voices of many familiar characters, including, well, I've not heard of Loopy de Loop. I've heard of Wally Gator, Yogi Bear, Hokey Wolf, no. Elroy Jetson, I think I've heard of the Jetsons. Ever heard of them?
I'm not familiar with them, no.
No. Quick Draw McGraw, yes, I've heard of him. Snagglepuss, definitely. Spike the Bulldog, no. Huckleberry Hound, yes. So there's Dawes Butler. So moving on, there's a bit more text for yourself to have a run through.
Okay, according to a humorous 2013 Wall Street Journal article, the mascot, whose full name is Horatio Magellan Crunch, captains a ship called the Guppy and was born on Crunch Island in the Sea of Milk, a magical place with talking trees, crazy creatures, and a whole mountain, Mount Crunchmore, made out of Captain Crunch cereal. The article refers to the captain's bicorn as a Napoleon-style hat and claims that his hat led to speculation that he may be French. According to Crunch Facts, a news outlet dedicated to the mascot, Horatio Crunch has a perfect 200 IQ.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I mean, the thing is that, you know, dare I say it, there are people in California, because in California, there are certain narcotics which are not illegal. Mm-hmm. And I can only imagine that you know, sometimes when people such as Eric Cozze has dabbled in these odd narcotics, they possibly would see a Sea of Milk, magical place with crazy creatures and talking trees. I can well imagine that taking place in most of California, can't you?
Yes, I can.
Yeah, absolutely. I bet he's loving this. So this was a little bit of a debate that's going on. So this was accusations aimed at Captain Crunch, to which Captain Crunch answered. So let's just have a read. I'll let you read what he put.
You may have noticed a few other things about me, he says. I've 4 fingers. My first mate's a dog. My eyebrows are attached to my hat, for Crunch's sake. He's got a point. Quaker, the maker of the cereal, has stood by its captain. We don't feel the 4th stripe is necessary. The captain is after all a captain. As he mans the SS Guppy, a spokesman told Today.com earlier this month, and it's the crunch, not the clothes, that make the man.
Yes, absolutely, yes. So that was him answering allegations. So I've got a few more pictures that I just wanted to share with you in no particular order. We'll start off with, well, we'll just do them in the order they come. Are you familiar with the next character?
Yes.
Yes, okay. Dick Dastardly and Muttley. Quite definitely, Dick Dastardly is American. You see him in Wacky Races. Mm-hmm. I used to love Wacky Races. There was even a PlayStation game that I used to play. That's how much I liked. Yeah. And you can see that he's got very similar attire. That doesn't make him French, does it?
No.
British. What else did I find? I found this. There, as I say, there you see the eyebrows attached to the hat. The big bushy moustache. This was the reason why the dude over there in California, that was probably high on something at the time, came up with this conclusion that Captain Crunch should be British, based on, believe it or not, have you ever watched the Blackadder series?
I have, yeah.
Okay, yeah. And there's the character played by Stephen Fry, who is the sort of major in charge. What's his name? Oh, I can never remember. But anyway, he's got this big bushy moustache, and therefore that makes him British. Now, you know, I would point out that Sam Elliott, the star of one of the stars in lots of films, but has a little cameo role even in The Big Lebowski. Well, he's got a big bushy moustache, and I don't think anybody, well, maybe Eric Cozze might try and suggest that he's British, but most normal, sane people would definitely not expect anybody to accept that Sam Elliott was British. So here's a few other things. I mean, you know, This is Eric Cozze's car. This is one of his cars that he drives around California in. It's very nice. I like the wheels. I like the fact that he's got this iconic Captain Crunch on the side of the car. And here's Here's his other favorite mode of transport, his other car. They're both automatic, of course. I mean, in America, they don't know how to operate a manual gearbox. That would be, particularly in terms of Eric Ose, that would be way beyond him. But anyway, there's a Captain Crunch car. And of course, we've even got, I'll show you this one here. We've got Metallica, the Captains of Crunch. And again, where do Metallica come from? Would you believe it? That same place where everything seems to come from, California. Metallica is an American heavy metal band. The band was formed in 1981, believe it or not, in Los Angeles, and has been based in San Francisco for most of its career. So there we go. As I say, when I have got together with Eric Ose, the Captain Crunch has quickly disappeared, to the extent that poor Stacy Seabrook, guitar vocalist, was left with an empty box. He was soon. So anyway, in terms of this notion that Captain Crunch must be British, I just wonder, either the narcotics or maybe do you think it's a case of he's been drinking too much of this mixed with his Dr. Pepper?
Oh, very good.
Captain Morgan and Dr. Pepper. Oh, I wonder. Anyway, so let's just close off by once again saying, absolutely delighted that you agreed to join me. Well, yes, and particularly to enlighten you on the situation, but it has been a major bugbear of Eric Ose, who is affectionately known as the dude that I won. I mean, whether you win by 1 vote or 100 votes, it really is pretty
still a victory,
pretty irrelevant. Yes, yeah. And I see even in the chat, he's still going on. He's put a message. What about the European crew? Again, they've got European names, but so what? Lots of people have got European names. I mean, if you think about it, everybody in America who is not a native Indian will have a name that comes from somewhere else on the planet.
This is true.
So I don't see that as being it's, well, let's put it this way. Have we, from a legal point of view, do you feel that we have proven beyond a reasonable degree of scientific certainty that Captain Crunch is American?
I would say so,
yes.
Yeah.
And that's really all we wanted to do. So whether or not people have certain biases, it's up to them. Whether people are delusional because of their environment, whether it's hereditary or intoxication, that's up to them. But we stick by our assumption, and the evidence clearly points to the fact that Captain Crunch is American. And in fact, most British people have not actually heard of Captain Crunch.
I was unaware of Captain Crunch until I went to America. So
yes, same here. Well, actually, I was aware of Captain Crunch because I did a little video where I listed my 25 most famous Americans, and 1 or 2 of them were the not so nice characters from the documentary Making a Murderer. So Eric Ose decided to retaliate with his 25 greatest British characters, and I didn't mind. I didn't mind any of them apart from Captain Crunch. When he said that Captain Crunch was British, that's when I had to do some research, because obviously, you don't just shout down somebody just because you've got 1 or 2 little things like because of his crew or because of his bushy moustache. You have to balance up the rate of evidence, don't you?
So is that where this all originated?
Yes, that's how it all originated. Yes. It was as I say, my video, his retaliation, and dare I say it? I mean, you know, if you oh, if you really want to look at something really scary, then check out Eric Ose doing his punishment, because he lost the vote. He had to do a punishment.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, well, you see, whoever lost the vote, it was decided that they then had to sing the national anthem of the other country.
Okay.
So we've got out there on the internet at the moment, we have what I can best describe as Eric Ose's version of God Save Our Ears, because it is absolutely hellish. And I wouldn't want to inflict that on anybody.
Mm. Yeah.
So anyway, you can check that out. Just before I say cheerio, obviously we've got the rally coming up this weekend. Last year, I don't know if you remember, I was in Manitowoc
Yes. Yeah.
for a couple of days, but of course with the COVID, you can't travel, so we're doing an online rally instead. So once once you've watched Making a Murderer and had a look at it, then maybe I can get you on again to give your opinions on that, because I can't help feeling that, you know, you were saying about the fact that you're heading towards going to university to do law and politics, and it needs people who have watched these documentaries to then be the younger generation coming forward that will make a difference.
Yep.
So well, if I don't see you before, we'll see you on Monday as usual. Thank you so much for joining me. And we'll together we will virtually blow a big raspberry at Eric Ose for his mad suggestion. Anyway, it's goodbye from Phoebe.
Thank you.
Bye for now.
Goodbye.
And goodbye from me. And we'll see you all again soon. Bye for now.
Bye.